Hey man, let me ask you something. Have you ever given your all to someone, stood by them, had their back, no matter what, only to find out they never really valued you the same way? That feeling, it's not just pain, it's something deeper. It shakes you, makes you question everything. And when a truly loyal man gets betrayed, he doesn't just move on like nothing happened. He changes, not in some dramatic, vengeful way. Nah, that's not his style. He evolves. He gets sharper, wiser, he learns. And the world feels that shift, because a man like that, once awakened, never moves the same again. Point 1, seeing people for who they truly are. Bro, you ever look back at someone you trusted and realize they were showing you their true colors the whole time? You just didn't want to see it. That's what happens to a loyal man when he gets betrayed. It's not that people suddenly change, it's that he finally starts seeing them clearly. Before, he believed in potential, gave the benefit of the doubt, assumed people were as solid as he was. But now he watches, not with suspicion, but with clarity. He doesn't fall for sweet words, for promises that never turn into action. He lets people reveal themselves over time, and when they do, he believes them the first time. No more excuses, no more overlooking red flags, because he's learned that real loyalty isn't about blindly trusting, it's about recognizing who is actually worthy of that trust. Point 2, walking away without a word. You ever notice how the more you try to explain yourself to the wrong people, the less they actually listen? It's like they don't want to understand you. They just want to keep you tangled in their web, making you second guess yourself. A loyal man used to fall into that trap. He thought if he just made them see his side, if he just laid it all out, they'd respect what he brought to the table. But after betrayal, he learns a hard truth. Not everyone deserves that effort. Now he moves differently. If someone doesn't get him, he won't force them to. If they can't see his worth, he won't explain it. He just walks. No long messages, no desperate conversations, no trying to get closure from someone who never valued him in the first place. Because he knows, real ones don't need an explanation, and fake ones won't care no matter how much you give them. His silence, that says everything they need to know. Point 3, matching energy or losing access. Man, you ever notice how some people only give just enough to keep you around, but never enough to actually show they care? Yeah. He used to fall for that too. He would give endlessly, to friends, to relationships, to people who never really matched his effort. Not anymore. See, betrayal didn't just teach him about disloyalty, it taught him about imbalance. It showed him that one-sided relationships drain the life out of you. Now, he doesn't tolerate that. You either match his energy or you lose access to him. No more excuses, no more they're just bad at expressing themselves, or they'll do better next time. He's not interested in potential, he's interested in action. If someone wants to be in his life, they have to prove it. And if they can't, he won't argue, he won't beg, he'll just move on because he knows his time, his love, his loyalty. It's all too valuable to be wasted on people who only show up when it's convenient for them. Point 4, learning to stand alone. You ever notice how people will stay in the wrong situations just because they're scared to be alone? They'll tolerate disrespect, fake friendships, even empty relationships, just to avoid solitude. But a loyal man who's been betrayed, he starts to see alone time for what it really is, freedom. He stops fearing silence and starts using it. He focuses on himself, builds his mind, strengthens his discipline, because when he's alone, he's in control. No distractions, no fake love, no wasted energy. And that's where his real power comes from. He realizes that the worst thing isn't being alone, it's being surrounded by people who don't truly care. And from that moment on, he chooses peace over company, every single time. Point 5, letting go without looking back. Bro, have you ever been so mad at someone that it felt like carrying a weight around? Like every time you thought about them, it drained your energy. That's what a loyal man goes through after betrayal. At first, he holds on to the anger, thinking it protects him. But then he realizes, holding on to that grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It doesn't hurt them, it only slows him down. So, he makes a decision, not for them, but for himself. He lets it go, not because they deserve it, but because he deserves peace. But let's be clear, letting go doesn't mean letting them back in. He forgives, but he never forgets. He carries the lesson, not the bitterness, and that's why he's dangerous in the best way, because nothing from his past controls him anymore. He's free. Point 6. Loving with his eyes open. Bro, you ever look back at how you used to love and cringe a little? Like, damn, I really used to give my all without a second thought, thinking that was enough. A loyal man used to love like that too. He thought if he showed up, if he stayed consistent, if he gave everything, that love would be returned the same way. But betrayal? It opens his eyes. Now he loves differently. Not out of fear, not with walls up, but with wisdom. He doesn't fall for words. He watches actions. He doesn't get lost in feelings. He looks for proof. If someone says they care, they better show it, day in and day out. Love isn't about blind faith anymore. It's about trust that's built, not just assumed. And the next person who earns his heart, they'll know that his love isn't just deep, it's intentional. And that makes all the difference. Point 7. The comeback hits different. You ever see someone go through hell and come out unrecognizable, but in the best way possible? That's what happens to a loyal man after betrayal. People expect him to just move on like nothing happened, to go back to being the guy who trusted too easily, who gave without thinking. But nah, he's not that man anymore. He doesn't return to who he was. He evolves into someone stronger, wiser, sharper. Now, he moves with intention. He talks differently, walks differently, sees the world through a clearer lens. He's not bitter, but he's not naive either. He doesn't waste time proving his worth. He simply lives in a way that makes it undeniable. And the best part, he doesn't seek revenge. He doesn't chase validation. He just builds. And when he rises, he's untouchable. Listen, life has a way of teaching hard lessons, and betrayal, that's one of the hardest. But a loyal man doesn't stay broken. He rebuilds. He doesn't waste time proving his worth. He becomes undeniable. And when he rises, he's not looking back. So if you ever cross paths with a man like this, one who has learned his value the hard way, don't take him lightly. Because a man who knows his worth will never settle for less again. And if he chooses you, consider it a privilege, because men like that don't love by accident. They love with purpose, and that's rare.